Obasanjo's grandstand on restructuring. The former president Olusegun Obasanjo needs no introduction in his home country, Nigeria, indeed in Africa and beyond. As a governor elected in 1999, we built a relationship that was based on my high opinion of him. Needless no say that he also had a high opinion on my human self. I remember my discussion with him during his visit to Benue State preparatory to the Jos Convention of 1999. When I referred to what Ken Soro wrote about him in his book On a Dark Lane Plain, recounting his encounter with Obasanjo during the Nigerian Civil War, Ken Soro Wiwa wrote that at first sight, Olusegun Obasanjo's mannerism came easily make one to believe that since he is not as smart looking as Kon Adekunle, he would not deliver and not be a competent combatant. Ken Soro Wiwa added that to the contrary, in less than a week, Obasanjo had re-established order in the division. He ordered soldiers back to the barracks. He watched Obasanjo at close quarters when he was addressing his troops for the final defensive against the Biafran army. He was very impressed. I told the general this comment by Ken contradicted sharply with what General James Oluleye said of him in his autobiography, that he was a bundle of tricks. When I brought that aspect of the book to his intervention, he had a good laugh. He solemnly initiated and intimidated me that Nigerian is a restructuring complex and a socially pluralistic country, and as such, without tricks, no leader would survive or could survive it. It is advisable that Obasanjo must have given himself over and over again. I met our would-be president in 1999 at Eastern Hotel, Abuja. He was agitated at the rise of Ekweme in the option polls. Ekweme's surge in the polls was of such a concern to Obasanjo, who contended that anybody who tries to dismember Nigeria cannot be commander-in-chief. He showed me a huge scar at the back of his right thighs from an injury he sustained when his convoy was ambushed on its way from the front line, killing 9 out of his 11 bodyguards. He called Ekweme a body Biafran who cannot be president. I assured him of the full support of Benue delegates at the Jos Convention held in February 1999, adding to his already impressive legacy. He went on to win the 1999 elections with a landslide. Continuing on Obasanjo's patriotic decrement, despite our occasional differences, he reminded me that he still had a lot of respect for me since our disagreements were on principles. A case in point, he called me to Abeokuta and directed to ensure the defeat of some politicians who were contesting for elective positions in the PDP because of their irresponsibility, corruption, and lack of patriotism. Obasanjo recalled many instances, particularly the case of my successor for governor of Benue State, whom he called unprintable names. He resisted the young man's candidature, but relented through pleadings. Yet, this brief portrait of a complex and sometimes contradictory Øbasanjo will not be complete if one does not include the heroic sacrifices some members of his family are making in the service of Nigeria. For instance, his son, Con Limited Øbasanjo, whom I met during my tenure as governor of Benue State, when he was then a captain, is a brilliant officer who was recently wounded and eventually evacuated during a battle against the Boko Haram terrorists. In about 2001, patriotism against manifested itself. On our return from an official visit to Japan, where President Øbasanjo was lavishly and infamously received by his host, Prime Minister Koizumi, the presidential advisor on international relations, former MD Day Times, and ambassador to Brazil, Dr. Patrick Dele Cole, was completely embarrassed in diatribe with us on restructuring, resources, control, and physical federalism in vile language. He did not notice the presence of Mr. President Olusegun Obasanjo. The president launched a counter-offensive that badly shocked the advisor. Today, he roared, "You really fire the Hausa, Fulani, TV, Banchama, Angas, Birom, Yorubas, etc. because of oil. Did you plant oil in your soil through hard work? If not for these people, you would have remained slaves in your region." Vintage Øbasanjo, most of us were impressed with his command of history and facts and display of courage and uncommon sagacity. 3 weeks later, Mr. Cohen was dropped as his vice. Such was his obsession with aspect and respect to restructuring. President Øbasanjo is a bag of paradoxes and contradictions that portray him as frequently grandstanding or posturing on critical national issues. It's a critical national issues that Øbasanjo has portrayed. That has recently been the case with his shrill and potentially divisive antics as a self-serving restructuring eruditist. Joining pokers of hate and disunity, President Olusegun Obasanjo may be cleaning his name from our Nigerian legends list. It is pertinent to ask what is his legal demands like Øbasanjo means by restructuring. To some advocates of restructuring, Nigerians should simply be dismembered and let every competent unit go its way now. The attempt to restructure Nigeria in this way is not new. In fact, an attempt in this direction led to a brutal civil war between 1967 and 1970, in which millions of people died. Some want confederation, others see restructuring in terms of resource control. Today, at 83, it sounds allowed to ex-President Olusegun Obasanjo, who until recently was not an apostle of restructuring, to quickly and brazenly become a discipline of restructuring in a more deadly manners. Brand new construction or constitution or brand new war, he wrote off a democratic national assembly for being incapable of giving Nigerians the constitution they deserve. Randomly and purposely selected Nigerians by President Jønath for his own national conference in 2014 is preferred to the people's representatives as the call for implementation of the Jønath National Conference paper gathers momentum in a restricted bracket of the Nigerian populace. Let us not forget about the fact that Southern delegates far outnumbered Northern delegates to the said conference. With due respect to President Olusegun Obasanjo, he had the highest opportunity among all Nigerian leaders to restructure Nigeria the way he wanted. Along with the late General Murtala Muhammad, they restructured Nigeria from 12 to 19 states. Fate beckoned when he became president in 1999 and repeated the feat in 2003, winning his second term with a landslide. Asked in 2003 by a retired general of Southwestern Extractions, General Olusegun Obasanjo told his guests that the National Assembly was in his pocket and he was therefore in total control of all the branches of government, a rare opportunity for the president to restructure his country. Having ruled for 11 and 1.5 years, an unprecedented record in rulership for any country. Why did he fail to restructure? Do we have to resort to war over restructuring? No, never, because President Muhammadu Buhari's attempt during his second term to restructure featured only his third term agenda. Very sad, we fought and defeated his evil plans. Leadership entails sacrifice and constituency in the face of difficulties and uncertainties. With our leadership potentials and driven by our patriotism, ingenuity, and creativity, we must work hard to secure the peace and territorial integrity of our country. Once again, we say that no to war and destruction. The march of Angenon and Gorita must hurt. Let us co-write the history of our greatness today. God bless Nigeria. Happy 38th birthday, Baba. Wow. Viewers, what is your take on this news I just heard concerning the restructuring of this country? President Muhammadu Buhari President Olusegun's attempt during his second term to restructuring featured only his third term agenda, according to what this news said. Very sad. We fought and defeated these evil plans. To be or not to be, the inside scope about third term agenda of Olusegun Obasanjo was a misrepresentation of the man itself. Similar to the situation in 2015, when those around President Jønath made him hate his words about his one-time presidency. Advisors and kitchen cabinets are always after themselves. They are good at impressing on incumbents to jettison their stated vows for their selfishness. It happens to Øbasanjo and Jønath. The truth shall set Øbasanjo free if he continues to say the truth anywhere and everywhere on anything he does. The truth shall prevail. So, viewers, comment on this trend. Comment on this trend and make those comments a comment that will benefit viewers, and they also can contribute to this trended news. So, if you have not subscribed to this channel, don't hesitate to subscribe so that you can be receiving notifications of updates from any news that I publish. And also like and share this news to those that are willing to listen to the things that are going on in the country, so they can also learn and know what is happening in the country. Thank you as you do. Have a wonderful day. Bye.